Hola, ¿cómo estamos? ¿Cómo andamos? Bienvenidos a...
Spanglish Confessions.
Bueno, y el día de hoy tenemos un topic sobre
Cults, o como se dicen, cultos, sectas, no sé cómo los conozcan por sus
mm,
tierras, but cults.
cults. And the reason we want to talk about cults is because I recently just watched a movie. I believe it's called Midsummer, something like that. But point is,
Oh, okay.
it's actually very it's like really like mind tricky, and then because you kind of realize like how are people so vulnerable to fall into these things, but
Hmm.
actually like cults still exist nowadays, you know? So we just kind of
Okay.
thought like it would be a good topic to talk about because it's still going on in real life,
Yeah. And
you
I
know?
haven't seen the movie, but I have had like not like experience, like I've never been in a cult, thank God. But there I know people that are like involved in like religious groups and stuff like that, which
Mhm.
it seems a little culty. But no judgment here. It's just from my perspective, it does seem a little culty. And I do want to watch the movie, the one with Florence Pugh,
Yeah.
no? Yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
believe
yeah,
so. Yeah, you should watch it because it's so at first, so basically, I mean, it makes sense as to why. So the main girl, like the main character, I'll just say a little bit because I don't want to spoil the movie. But the main character, like it kind of shows you why she would fall for something like that because she was very vulnerable, right? So she basically like lost her family and stuff. So it makes you kind of that would be like kind of like a main thing that she feels alone and so basically it's like the friend group that she goes with. First of all, she wasn't even supposed to go to this thing. But anyway,
okay.
she ended up going like life events and she just didn't want to be lonely. So she went into this like summer thing. And during the summer trip, like they had, I believe they had, I'm not entirely sure, I forgot like how many days they had stuff planned, but basically it was like a ritual that they were part of.
Hmm.
And so as soon as they get there, like
Okay.
first of all, they give them like something to drink, but it's basically like holistic, but it has some type of herbs and basically like you get high, right? So it's like you're under the
Como
influence.
ayahuasca, or what's it called?
Yeah, and honestly, it made me think a lot about the ayahuascas because I know we've talked about them before. And maybe you could
Hmm.
tell us a little bit because I know you not that you've done it, but like you have a little bit more like experience of that. But it made me think of that like because
Hmm.
then as soon as like they got there, they gave them that to drink, and then the first like thing, really scary thing that they see is somebody jumping off of a freaking building, right? And so it's like that was part of the ritual. They're like the only people that are like sane, and there's actually this other friend group too.
Hmm.
And then they're like, "What are you guys doing? Like, like no, like this isn't what you're supposed to be doing, whatever." And all of this group of people that are already there, they're like, "Oh, this is what happens. This is part of what's supposed to happen." And so it's like really, really trippy because then basically like the girl, the main character, she's like what's going on, like I want to leave, like I want to get out of here. And then like people start going missing, and it's just really trippy because then within like their whole group,
What?
yeah, like within the whole group, like they have to give permission to the parents. Let's say the parents will give permission to their daughter to now they have came of age,
Hmm.
so now they could have sexual intercourse with this specific person, and then they will go ahead and grab the specific.
Sorry, you're telling your story, and my door is like creaking from the office.
I know.
So I'm like freaking out. I'm gonna go shut that door.
Okay.
And I'm back. Sorry guys, that was spooky. So like they all go to like this like hiatus, like holistic like journey, I guess you could
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
And
but
like
only
they
one
just
of
get
the
kind of trapped in there.
in a way, but one of the guys, like one of the guys that they're going to the I believe it's in Sweden, um that he's the only one that actually knows what's going on and what's part of this cult and what's going to happen. And so he basically like explains it
Mm.
as like, oh, it's going to be really nice, like it's going to be a good getaway. It's basically like this ritual and whatever, but it's kind of like a retreat. That's how he sells it as. So it's a retreat, right? And so
Mm.
once
Okay.
until they're actually there, and like everything starts to go, like the movie's good because everything just goes so fast that like you stay like paying attention the whole time. Because as soon as they get there, they're drinking something, and then it just gets to like then they start like hallucinating in a way, but not really like it's actually happening. And so they start noticing that people start disappearing like from their group, and people want to leave,
Mhm.
and it's like they really can't leave because you're part of this ritual now. And so eventually like
Mhm.
the main character, like then she ends up getting like so messed up in the head where she doesn't know what she's doing, and like her emotions, and she was dealing with so much, like her parents had just died. Honestly, if you haven't seen this movie, there's spoilers, so if you want to watch the movie, don't listen. But
And it's been out, so you're not really
it's
getting
been out.
spoiled.
Yeah, it's been out for a while. And so
Okay.
so yeah, so basically like this girl, I mean, think about it. Like I could see, like after watching the movie, I was like, okay, I could see why she kind of fell for it, because she was by herself. She was all alone. She was mentally, emotionally not there. So like that was a way
Mhm.
of her getting away, you know? So the point is like moving forward, like they do like this ritual, like this dance where
Mhm.
the last one standing is basically the queen. So of course, to her luck, she is now the queen of the summer or whatever. And so they basically then like her boyfriend, which the boyfriend, I didn't like him since the beginning, so I really don't care what happened to him because he kind of deserved it. Uh, he kind of deserved it because then the girl that I was telling you that like um their parents like, oh hey, my daughter is basically yours, she's
Uh-huh.
good to, have sexual intercourse, please have her type of thing. Se lo ofrecieron a él. And so pues él como muy obediente, he went and he's like, okay, but then it was weird because within that scene, dude, like it's the lady's daughter, que ya le estaba echando el pegue since he got there, with her girlfriend there. That's why I have an issue, whatever. And they take him to this like cabin because it's out in the, not in the woods, but it's out in like the field,
Mhm.
but it looks very kumbaya, very relaxing, very peaceful. So at first you're like, oh, that's a nice retreat,
Uh-huh.
No, it's not. But anyways, the point is like they're in this cabin. They're in this cabin, and as he comes in the cabin, there's women, naked women, like older, younger women, like just naked, right? And like I want to say like a
What
good
is
like
this, the
maybe
gym locker room?
literally not like a good 10 people por ahí. And and the lady, like the girl, I mean, that's going to, have sexual
Mhm.
intercourse with him, she's just laying there waiting for him, or spreads her legs open, and then they're just hamming it, like,
Ew.
but before that, they did give something to the guy for him to like
Mhm.
last, or for him to, I don't know. The point is that they wanted to conceive, like that was the main goal. They wanted
And
to
that
bring
wasn't
it
his
from
girlfriend, right?
outside. No, no, the girlfriend is actually the main character.
Oh my God.
Um, that's actually ends up being the queen. So she's like, while he's going at it with the women, watching him going at it with this girl, like she's out there like actually witnessing like, some pretty graphic, nasty stuff, like, that are like in a way sacrificing things. And so she's like, I need to get away. I need to get away. Like, and then she's like, wait, where's my boyfriend? Right. So she goes
Mhm.
and they're like, no, don't go in there. Don't go in there. So she goes in, but she doesn't fully open the door. She just sees like through a crack in the, um,
Mhm.
like in the lock. And she sees that and she's like, what? And so she starts flipping out. And then she basically kind of had like a spiritual awakening in a way, because then she kind of like cries like her heart out, dude, like cries her heart out. And she like finally ya la calman, and when she like lastly like you see her again, she's
Mhm.
basically in this chair, like wrapped up with like so many flowers, and her boyfriend is like can't even move in the chair. Like they did something to him where he now can't move in the chair, and I believe he actually is the one that ends up getting sacrificed at the end. But and like the main guy that actually, like the friend that knew about the spiritual and everything like that, like that, since he was part of it, he was the only one that was like okay with it. I mean, other than like the other friends, everybody was gone. He was the only one standing because he knew what was going to happen, and he was the one that was actually the only one that was talking to the girlfriend at the time. Like, I think this getaway is going to be really good for you. Like, I'm so excited that you're coming for us. This is going to be great for you. So he had already like plotted her as like being like, you need this, like this is going to be good for you, like whatever. Kind of getting
Mm.
her trust in there. But basically, like, I don't know. So whatever. So that's kind of like how the movie went. But it's just like, damn, girl, like, are you that dumb? Like, how did you, you know? But
Yeah.
she, like actually analyzing it a little bit more. It's like, yes, because she was very vulnerable, super, super vulnerable. Like she was all alone. She was very depressed, and for her to actually think like, hey, this is a good retreat for me, like was something that she wasn't expecting, obviously. And this is obviously very like dark, but
Mhm.
but it does happen, so it's just like, how does she let it happen? But I know like you've mentioned that a few people that have been in cults, and it's like my question to that's like, how can you even get involved in something like that, you know?
Hmm. I think it's like very, like you said, I think it's not target, well, it is targeted because obviously,
Hmm.
like, I feel like those kind of groups are always looking for members. I mean, no vamos
Yeah.
muy lejos, look at Herbalife. You
Yeah.
know, like they're always looking for new members. And I know Herbalife's not a cult, but it does feel a little bit because it's like they're looking for people who are vulnerable, who need like a
Hmm.
support group. You know, if you're
Hmm.
depressed or you're more easily influenced.
Hmm.
I guess when people come and like support you, and I'm not saying like it's bad, but like you find yourself in these situations and you're like, how do I get out of here?
Yeah.
And before you know it, you're playing like a role in this place, or then you feel like you can't let go because it's like, oh, if I leave, then where's my support? And um,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of us could get tied into it without even realizing, and then you realize it like years or sometime later on before um, you come to
When
that.
it's like a little too late, or you're like so like, I guess, invested into something, you know, that it's just like, oof, like if I leave now, like ahora qué, you know?
Yeah, like ahora qué hago? Because I don't know if it's like so yesterday actually I was watching this movie called Four Good Days, and it's not a cult, but it's like a drug addict,
Hmm.
and her mom's trying to help her out and stuff, and you kind of go through her journey about how she can't escape it. You know, she's addicted to heroin and opioids and all that other stuff, and she's really trying to leave that, and she just can't. Like she can't,
Hmm.
and it keeps pulling her back, and she's trying to help this. There's this scene where she tries to help like a kid out of that situation, and she gets sucked back into it. Um, and she buys from her dealer again after being clean for like I don't know 3 days or something.
Hmm.
And I mean that could be a like kind of cultish where you're just stuck in this group because that's your support group, even though they don't really care about you. Um, so that's kind of like I don't know if it's related, but I think it's a little bit related. How if you're vulnerable, you just get sucked into this
Hmm.
without realizing it. And I was there's this like Reddit thing. I think you sent it to me
Hmm.
about this person's like and I'm gonna read it from my phone. It's oh no, where'd it go? So this is on Reddit, and it's like I'm a cult member and I don't know how to leave. Um, and it kind of goes with what you were saying. It's like we're not super well known outside my hometown. I won't say the name of the group. They don't have as much power as other cults have. For example, they don't control police officers or judges, but they control your entire social life. You're not really supposed to mingle with non members unless you're trying to invite them in. That's, I think, the first thing that worries me about leaving. I'm going to have zero friends. I will need to start from scratch. The other thing I'm worried about is losing the friends I have in this group. They actually have helped me a lot in difficult times. I can't say this about the organization as a whole, but I think most individual members are good people. Our group does a lot of charity work and we have helped a lot of people. We're also humiliated and really what is we've also humiliated and really hurt people who say bad things about us.
Hmm.
Honestly, I wish I have never joined this group. It had made me cut off people I knew before joining. So, like again, it goes back to that like you cut your social group off. They make it your whole life.
Yeah.
They're your social group, and then like this person mentioned, like they have done good things, but they've also done really bad things in like humiliating other people and doing bad things to them. I don't know what bad things they've done, doesn't go into it, but it kind of
Yeah.
goes back to that.
Yeah, and see, it's like, okay, how can you even get like for example, that person, right? Like, how did I even get here? Is the first
Mhm,
question. But it's like, I don't know. You never really know. I mean, if you're coming from a place that you're vulnerable, or you're just alone, or you don't have anybody, or you don't have your inner circle or anything like that, that also sometimes may be presented as, oh, well, I could be your friend, you know, and come join us. Like, you know, we're just a big group of we have just a big group of friends that we became
mhm,
family, and they just paint this perfect picture that it's like, oh, this is where I could belong, you know? And unfortunately, like, you don't really realize how much people just want to be, you know, like, you don't want to be lonely, of course. And
right.
so, you know, you take that, like, people take advantage of that, like, oh, okay, well, especially if they know that that's like your weakness. And it's like, no, well, you
Mhm,
know, I'm trying to make friends, but I haven't been able to, or this is and that. And it's like, oh, well, you know, come join me, like, come join my group. Like, we're all very friendly, da da da. And I feel like that's where you kind of get hugged.
mhm,
Um, and so, because I was reading this, I was actually reading this. story that was a long, long, long time ago, years ago. But basically, these two brothers came into this little town in Mexico.
Mhm.
Um, and within this little town, like it was a little town, right? It was so small that people knew it was kind of like a village more than a town. So within this village, like everybody already knew each other. So they knew each other. Everybody knew everyone, you know. So and it was so back then that it was a hut where they would be living, um, where they have the huts and stuff. So within those huts, like it was so back then. So you know, like just so you have an idea, but
Mhm.
within that time, so this two brothers came into this village, and then people there know each other, right? So they obviously noticed like, hey, we don't really know you, like what are you doing here? So the villagers like started like going up to them like, hey, like can we help you, you know, what are you doing here, type of thing. So then they were they already came with the idea of que se hicieran pasar por profetas, the prophets, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
hey, you know, and because they took advantage, because this small village didn't have any education. They didn't have any knowledge of anything really, like no education, no. They only
Se
the
aprovechan de
brothers.
gente vulnerable otra vez,
Yeah, the brothers knew that they were just like a sense of religion within that town or that village, so that's where they wanted to go ahead and take advantage of it, right? So they're like, oh no, we're prophets, you know, we were sent by God, and we just came to deliver his message, right? So they were just very vulnerable, like, okay, like what do you have to say? It's like, well, you know, God did want me to say that he's coming, the time is coming, and we just need to prepare for that time. Now, our
Mhm.
job here is basically to get you guys prepared and get you ready, but we need help. We need your help for that. We need your help. We need to be able to guide you in the direction that needs to be, that you guys need to be guided on. And they're like, oh yeah, yeah, like how can we help, right? So they basically rapido, like they accepted them. They ended up giving them like literally like a place to live, ended up feeding them, you know,
Mhm.
clothing and everything. And so they're like, okay, like how are we gonna get started? So basically, um, they're like, well, you know, we need to, the way that we need to start is um we just need to make prayer. So they started with in making prayer, that they started to just to kind of like, you know, evolve with themselves. And
Mhm.
then the brothers, but just have in mind, like the brothers came with this mentality, like we need to make money, right? So we need to make
Mm.
money. We need to, how can we make money, right? So they were
Ellos con
just,
like ellos queriendo agarrar
ellos
dinero,
querían,
aprovechándose de la pobre gente.
yeah, yeah. And so have in mind, like they knew that the people no tenían tanto dinero. Like it was a very small village where money was, you know, they would just sell crops and stuff like that, like super, super low income. And so, and they knew that, but they're like, okay, well, this is what we're asking. We just need a little bit of, you know, we need your help within selling the crops. We'll take a percentage of that. And then that way God can see that you're doing well and you're giving us, that you're helping us. So then so you could be rewarded. So they're like, no, pues sí, sí, you know, si no lo haces. Oh, because then they also started saying, like, if you don't do it, like the gods will see and the gods will come down and punish you. That's how they basically put it. And so then, like, fast forward, then the villagers is like, well, you know, we don't have much. The little that we have, we're just giving it to them. So it's like, and we're
Mhm.
not seeing anything in return. So this kind of came back into like, you know, like more rumors and stuff. And so it came back to the ears of the brothers. And the brothers were like, oof, like, what are we going to do? You know, like, we can't let them know that this is just a scam. So
Yeah.
they're like, we need to go, we need to come up with something else. So basically, they come and they gather everybody within the village, and they're like, hey, you know, we did get, we got another word from God and another message what we need to deliver to you. And now basically what we need to do is, you need to let us borrow your daughters. And these daughters, mind you, were anywhere from 12 to 16 years. We need to borrow your daughters, and we will basically show them all of this, how to reproduce in life, how to, you know, we'll go ahead and teach them all the sex values and basically, you know, into that. And so this small town, they're like, but why, you know, like, oh, okay, but why? But they were scared to, like, you know, even ask questions, because they're like, wait, like then the gods are going to come and punish us because we're questioning. And but people were
Yeah.
questioning, and
You're
it's like,
questioning the
just,
gods.
yeah, exactly. So then they basically said that it was a form to reproduce, and God's creation was to reproduce and this and that. So they're like, okay, perfect, makes sense. So then a lot of younger girls, anywhere from 12 to 16, they were given to them basically. Then they took them into like this other town that was actually like a city where they knew somebody, and then they actually sold them for money. They sold them into ¿cómo se dice? They sold them
Like sex
into,
trafficking?
yeah, into sex trafficking. I believe I don't, I mean, you kind of do like a whorehouse type of thing. ¿Cómo se dice?
Oh,
Um,
like a brothel?
yeah, a brothel. So they sold them into like a brothel,
Okay.
and it just became like this sex trafficking that now they were getting money. So obviously the money that they were getting as like the small village wasn't anything
Hmm.
compared to how much they were getting now as, the girls were getting sold and everything. And so they were like, oh, okay, yeah, you're gonna get your daughter back, whatever, whatever. Obviously that's a lie. So then it's like let's say like a few months pass by, and they're like, hey, like we haven't seen any results, like we give you our daughters, like when are we going to see them, when are the gods coming? And so they're like, oh, like how are we going to show them some proof? Like, hey, we need some proof, like we believe you, like, we want to be part of this and stuff, like, but we need some proof. So finally they go back into the city with the same guy, like the guy that they know. And they're like, hey, like I need help. Like, we need help. We need to go ahead and just show them that, there's somebody that could play a part of being a goddess, you know? And then the guy's like, okay, like le dijo lo que quería hacer, like their idea, like, hey, we just need somebody to be part of the play. And he's like, I have the perfect person to perfect person in mind. So it was actually the owner's sister. The owner's sister was actually born into the sex trafficking and everything. She was actually herself sex trafficked within her brother's business
Oh my
when she was
God.
10. So obviously, like,
Oh my
yeah. And she also she was known as like more of like a witch. Like she was more into like doing spiritual connections and being able to talk to the dead and stuff like that.
God.
So
Uh-huh.
they knew that she was going to be the perfect person to be able to play this part. And so they talked to the lady. The lady, of course, was like, this is perfect, this is better than what I'm doing right now, because like right now I'm getting being sold into something that I don't even want to be part of. But now I'm actually being able to just use what I like to do, porque le gustaba obviamente la brujería, right? So that
Mhm.
was her main thing. Like she liked doing all of those rituals and all of those things within, talking to dead and all of that. So she's like, I'll do it. So they take this lady back. She's like, okay, well, you're just gonna have to pretend like you're the goddess, right? You're coming um, from the word of God as well, and you're one of the goddesses. And and also, what I forgot to mention is that the reason why they believe two brothers was because they knew like little magic tricks that was considered obviously magic. And so they knew a little bit of magic tricks. So they actually showed that. And so obviously they were very gullible. They're like, oh my God, yes, you do have like,
I know.
God features and and this and that. So that's why that's why they believe them,
That's
which
so
I'm like,
sad. That makes
yes,
me so sad because it's like these are things that you could look up on YouTube and know how to
yeah.
do yourself. And
Like when
like,
they pull out a quarter out of your ear or something. But so yeah, so it actually happened. And so then the lady now, since she actually was doing more of spiritual things, a
mm,
tipo, amarres y no sé qué tanto,
mm,
she actually, they're like perfect, like they're actually going to be able to see like this is supernatural,
oh my
um like this is out of the world, so they're gonna believe them. So they take this lady, like they dress her as a goddess, dress her as
God.
like, and then what helped her was that she was like such a beautiful lady. She carried herself very well, very presentable. So obviously this little village sees this beautiful woman coming in, and that starts basically showing magic tricks. And they're like, oh, okay, well, this is coming. They're like, oh my God, like the time is coming, um, you guys are prophets. And so that created more for them to believe them. Okay,
Oh
so
my
then
goodness.
they ended up basically like that was their way to get, like, oh, show them their proof. And then they weren't really asking for anything. But now, because they were showing more of proof, they were asking for more money. And then this little town is like, like, we don't have no more to give you. And it's like,
Yeah,
okay, well, you know what? Then
I
if you don't
guess we're
have
all
more
going to
to
hell
give,
now.
yeah, more to give, then they actually started sacrificing animals. They started sacrificing goats, chickens to be part of this ritual, because now you actually invited, and later on, I guess like the brothers realized that they ended up inviting in an actual witch that
Mhm.
wanted to do all of this, like, all of these rituals and all of this, ¿cómo se dice?
Como,
Offerings, all
oh,
of these offerings, because now you were actually killing, like you were killing animals and stuff. And then fast forward, basically like how the story ended in a way was that these two brothers couldn't take it no more because the witch was now controlling them. And
mm,
they're like, oh no, pues ya, aquí ya no me gustó, right? And the witch was controlling them to the point where there was pregnant women, and the witch was telling them like, hey, as soon as those women need to give birth, we need to take those babies and sacrifice them as well. And that's where they drew the line. They're like, you know what? I don't know what the heck we did. Like, I don't know what mess we got into, but we need to get out of this. So they ended up actually like telling the small village like, hey, we messed up. We invited somebody that didn't need to be invited in the first place, and we
yeah.
actually just honestly came to scam you. But the village was so into like all the stories that they would tell and all the stories that the witch was telling them that they just got so sucked in that they didn't know how to leave, and they didn't even want to leave because the witch was actually showing them like, les empezó a ir bien, like the crops were growing, everything was going good for them. There was crops that were growing. They're like,
Yeah.
the families were bigger. They were just getting bigger and better, and everything was just running smoothly. Like they were becoming such a good, like even better village.
Mhm.
So, um, so the brothers ended up like trying to leave, but the witch, since they're like, if you leave, you're gonna tell other people. The witch actually ends up just killing them and just sacrificing them in front of the whole village,
Wait, the
and
brothers or
the
like she
brothers.
sacrificed the brothers?
Yeah, she sacrificed the brothers because they wanted to leave and they wanted to get away. And she's like, "No, you're not going to ruin this for me. You invited me in." Basically, did like a little, ¿cómo se dice? Um, like a trial in front of this whole village. Like, okay, well, they want to leave. They were, traitors. We're not going to leave you as traitors. So the whole village was agreeing with the witch. It's like, nope, we need to kill them and burn them. So they sacrificed them. They ended up killing them and just sacrificing them to the gods and stuff. And it's like,
How the
there's no
church
more. Yeah, there's no more.
no manches, me
There
quedé así, estaba así.
no, and there's no more.
What?
I was trying to look like what happened afterwards, like who ended
Mhm,
up like telling what or like qué pasó. But I don't
mhm,
know. I guess like the group of the village was just so into her and her
mhm.
stories and whatever she was doing that they just that's where they wanted to stay. And I'm
No.
like, you gave your kids away. You gave your children away to be sold. Well, I mean, they didn't know that, but they knew it was for sexual pleasures and stuff. They were okay with that. Um, and then now you're sacrificing, animals and all of that. And I don't know. It's just like, how did you get so wrapped into that story?
It's like, well, the brothers started by like brainwashing pretty much, Like I feel like eso tiene que ver mucho con la lavada del coco, where
Hmm.
it's like te lavan el coco y luego, tus hijos, si tienen hijos, like obviamente crecen en eso, so the kids are already born with that tradition or whatever belief. I don't know how many generations passed, maybe like, ¿dijeron cuántos años habían pasado?
This was like years ago.
No,
I'll have to look.
like when it started, like when it kind of ended, did they say like how long?
Oh, this was like, no, it was just a very like a short time where maybe like a year or two. It wasn't long.
Wow.
It wasn't
Entonces,
long
like,
at
le
all.
lavaron el coco a todo el pueblo y ya,
Mhm. And yeah, I used
yeah.
to go.
No manches.
Yeah. So
That's
it's like,
scary. Like,
it,
it's really
exactly,
scary.
like you don't realize like how crazy somebody, like it just takes one person.
Hmm.
It
It
takes one
takes one
person
person
and
with
then
like a lot of influence, and then la gente busca respuestas, busca like I feel like everybody's a little bit like looking for a meaning to life or a meaning to something, and si te agarran a lo pendejo, pretty much,
mhm.
um, I feel like you're easily manipulated. I know. Me quedé así. I was like
Yeah.
on the edge of my seat, like, ¿cómo?
No.
¿Cómo que al
Yeah,
final
because
estaban
it's like,
vendiendo a sus hijos?
yes, so you're selling your kids and then like to me it's like now you're sacrificing people, okay?
Mhm.
You ended up like sacrificing the two, brothers that came in, and yes, they were very bad and stuff, but like you were okay with that? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
He drew the
Why?
line at fucking, I don't know. It's like
Like
as
you
soon as
couldn't
they
draw the
start
line
selling
at
your,
selling your kids?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, Dude, that's fucking crazy. Like, y no es la única ni la primera y no va a ser la última que pase eso. Like,
Hmm.
I was watching this other podcast. I don't remember which one it was, either Insomnia or something. It's like they're YouTubers from
Hmm.
Mexico. And estaban hablando de los cultos y sectas. And then there was this one, like, kind of similar where this lady ayudaba mucho a los migrantes que venían de pueblitos, like pueblitos pobres, like you're talking like dirt floor, hay roofs, así.
Hmm.
Y obviamente ellos venían con la esperanza de trabajar, you know, pero si traían a su familia, like no sabían llegar, no sabían. So ella les ofrecía like hospitality at her place, like, oh, pues quédense aquí un ratito y mientras agarran trabajo aquí los ayudo. Super nice por fuera.
Hmm.
And pero también ella era como religiosa or something, no, no me acuerdo qué religión. And anyways, so she would perform exorcisms and stuff. And one time había una pareja que tenía a su bebé de 2 años. And I think that the couple, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but anyways, el niño no se portaba bien, tenía 2 años. And she's like, oh, es que no está dejando que la palabra de Dios entre. And so se lo dejan al bebé. She's like, déjenmelo, yo aquí lo trabajo, que quién sabe qué, y va a ser bien. La pareja deja al bebé de 2 años con ella, and she pretty much starved this kid. Anyways, so the story is like she's pretty much starved the baby, so that he would have no more demon inside of him. The demon would starve and leave the baby, and she ended up killing the baby. And the parents were like, or they would go and be like, how's my baby doing and stuff. Like the parents weren't bad people, they were just ignorantes,
Stupid.
stupid and ignorant. And they, they were religious. They grew up in su pueblito. La iglesia era la iglesia. And, en un pueblito is very like, oh, pues vamos a misa los domingos. Y it was
Hmm.
very like community. Pero esta señora se aprovechaba de ellos and was like, no, pues yo aquí se lo cuido, que quién sabe qué. And she ended up, the baby ended up passing away. And te queda así como hay gente que, like, uno normal, es like, no, pues, ¿cómo le voy a dejar a mi hijo? Pero
Sí.
si vienes con una ignorancia o no sabes o eres muy, like, gullible, ¿cómo se dice?
Muy,
Like,
muy, muy vulnerable
no-
para, para, para dejar que esas cosas pasen, y te quedas like, how would you let that happen, like, especially now? But then you think about it, like, before then, or even there's people now, like, that come from such a small place, such a small town, que no saben what's good or bad. They just think that unfortunately everybody's good, which no,
no.
desafortunadamente no. And that's what sucks, like, you're just like, how did you fall for that? But it's like, gente, it just literally takes a person to believe in you, and that's it.
And that's it, yeah. And then you get it going. I mean, I was reading on Reddit, like, when I was, like, looking, like, oh, like, what is a cult and what is not. There was, like, a part where it was like what feels cultish but isn't considered a cult. And for me, the first thing that I thought of was Herbalife, like I mentioned
Mhm.
earlier. I don't know what it is about it. Like pyramid schemes, they feel so
Mhm.
cultish to me.
Yeah.
And people are like, no, but it's like cuando te agarran, it's like a huevo quieren que estés ahí. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, I don't want to take Herbalife. Like, I'm sorry, pero no.
Mhm.
And like that, or like Mary Kay for a while. Like my mom sold Mary Kay, I think it was, or
Mhm.
Cermat, una de esas.
Jafra.
And Jafra, no me acuerdo, pero el chiste es que, like she needed money, like,
Mhm.
she's a mom and she's trying to get by and put her kids in school or whatever. So she was picking up whatever y la invitaron. And it's like, no, si vendes a esas personas, invita más and invita
Mhm.
más, invita más. And it's like, and my mom's like, yeah, no, I can't with this. Like, I can't. And like
Yeah.
when she tried to leave, it was like, se la hicieron de a pedo. Like, it was hard.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, girl, like, tanto así. Like, when you quit a job, you just put in your 2 weeks and pues
Mhm.
ahí nos vemos.
Vámonos. Yeah.
Vámonos, pero no, ahí es like difícil. Like, y te tratan de convencer y te ponen su cara de buena gente, but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Unfortunately, es como también como en las familias a veces, like, just
Mhm.
because like now you don't want to, like, you don't want to do something or keep doing something that your family has been doing for years, and you want to leave that, or just not do it. You're like, ¿por qué no lo vas a hacer? They make you now feel like the bad guy, and it's like, no, pues hemos hecho esto sobre tantos años y no sé qué tanto y whatever, and you have to do it. Like, actually, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
And
Eso de
you
la
know,
familia, dude, hay familias que las ves son muy unidas, pero detrás de eso, it's like,
yeah, and then it's like, ¿Cómo puede ser eso? And I do believe, I honestly, truly, truly do believe that obviously, yeah, we're born within a family and we have our family itself. But sometimes, your family doesn't work out, unfortunately, whether it's a relationship with your mother, your father, your sisters, your brothers, or something that happens within the family that it's okay to now create your own family. And then, of course, I mean, then you get married and you start your own family and you create that, which is nice. But I do believe that you are able to create your own family.
Yeah.
So it's like de amistades que conozcas o lo que sea, a veces tienes más otra gente que de tu familia, desafortunadamente.
Hmm.
You know?
And it's like, I don't know, you know how they say like blood is stronger than water or thicker than water, whatever the saying
Yeah,
says.
something.
And it's like, yeah, um, it's like the blood is thicker than the water from the womb, or I forgot like the actual saying, but like it's pretty much saying like you can make your own family elsewhere and you're not tied down to just like the family you're born into.
Hmm.
Which I think sometimes, unfortunately, there are families that hurt you more than they give you love and
Hmm.
build that. And I feel like people that come from those kind of families are also kind of easier to manipulate into joining another
Hmm.
cult because they're just looking
Yeah.
for an exit. So it's all a cycle. It's all a circle. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like I'm sure I've done or been in some sort of
Who
weird group
hasn't? Yes.
too.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's just being self-aware. I think is very important. Like I feel like if you're just self-aware mentally of like, okay, I don't like this, doesn't feel comfortable for me, I need to go, that's your sign to just leave and go
Hmm.
because it's probably not good for you. um
Yeah.
and it's sad because yo tenía like growing up, like I've had friends from obviously different religions, Christian, like Catholic, nosotros testigos de Jehová, Jehovah's
Hmm.
Witnesses,
Hmm.
not really Mormons. I don't know anything about them, so I'm not gonna speak on that. But like I remember one time in like I think it was like third or fourth grade, like I had my little friends and they came up to me once, like two of them. It was three of us. We were like three, and
Hmm.
two of them came up to me, and they were like, "We can't play with you anymore." And I was like, "Okay, why?"
Uh-huh.
And they were like, "It's because you're not Christian. You're welcome to come to our church, but our parents say we can't play with people that are not Christian." And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like,
Hmm.
"Okay." And like by that time, I was like Catholic and stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, like I guess they told their parents I was Catholic, and they're like, yeah, it's because you guys believe in santos and we don't believe in that." And it's like,
Hmm.
okay. And they legit didn't talk to me for like 3 days, and I was like, I ended up being friends with somebody else. And then they tried to be my friends. I was like, no. I was like, no, I can't play with you. I'm Catholic.
Hmm. Yeah.
But it's
Yeah, but
like, desde chiquitos, It's like, what the fuck?
yeah, it happens where it's like, porque eres una religión or something, or like, you just believe in different things, and that's also something. But, thankfully, like now we're in a different, or somewhat in a different mindset, and different place where you could just do as you please, to be
Mhm.
honest. Do believe all of that as you please. But dude, off the record. Pero like, have you seen like all of the freaking Terians thing that I've sent you?
Oh, los Terians? Dude,
That
I
kills me.
can't.
I think that's also kind of like I don't really want to say shit about that, but I think that's
No, we
also
should.
called okay, on the
Okay,
record then.
on the record.
Because dude, like me caga, me da secondhand embarrassment seeing all of those Terian thing. Like, I'm sorry, but back then the only Terian thing that we would be doing was the Snapchat filter of a picho perrito. That's it.
In 2016.
Yes, that's the only
Yeah.
perro shit that you've been seeing me do. And I am so sorry. Que Dios no me castigue con esto, pero si me manda un chiquillo, or si así me saca, si me sale uno,
Un Terian.
you want to act like a dog, you want to act like a freaking cat or whatever, you'll be treated like one. Go outside and eat like a fucking dog. Or,
You're gonna go shit outside. Ahí están tus
yeah,
croquetas.
you're gonna shit outside, you're gonna sleep outside, you're gonna be treated like a dog. Um, which sounds mean because
It is really mean.
a mi
But at the
coquito,
same
yo no
time,
lo
like,
trataría así, pero that's because mi coquito is a freaking dog, actually born into a dog, okay? Like, I honestly think that you are mentally fucked in the head,
yeah,
and it
there's
makes me so
something
mad.
psychologically wrong. Like, what are you what is so bad about your life? And
Dude,
I'm not to the point where you're like, I'd rather be a dog, so I'm gonna be like,
no, no,
no,
no sé
mijo,
si
like,
viste el video, I don't know if I sent it to you, but the video of the lady that gets on the taxi allá en Mexico, se sube a un taxi or like an Uber or whatever, and the guy ends up kicking her out.
oh,
dude, because it's so embarrassing. Like the girl is literally like, I don't even want to do it. That's cringe. But like she's literally like that. Y saca la pinche lengua y todo. Y empieza a ladrar y todo. Like,
Ay,
yo
no,
soy
qué
un
feo.
perro. ¿Qué no ves que soy un perro? Me estás haciendo quebrar mi papel. ¿Qué papel, güey? Ay, no, me caga. And I'm like, that
No,
is
dude, yo vi un meme that
so...
it's like, ahora ya sé cómo se sentía mi abuelo con los gays.
Dude, oh my God. Like,
No,
I
no, no, no.
can't.
Like,
I honestly
yeah.
can't.
Una cosa es ser furry. Okay, los furries hacen sus cosas fuera de whatever that was.
And I get it, like, okay, yeah, because they're like,
No,
oh, es mi
they're
propia
gays.
comunidad. It's not a community. You're going out into the public. Oh, and the video that I loved was like when the Terian está así, ¿verdad? Y toda pendeja y todo con su pinche leash y todo babosa. Y se arrima otro perro y el perro, ¿sabes, güey? Que la agarra y la muerde.
Oh, la agarra del brazo.
I'm like, you go,
Defiéndete,
girl.
perra. Muérdelo.
Defiéndete, perra. Muérdele para atrás. Like, it's just like, what the hell? Like,
I
I don't
know.
know. It just,
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
like,
I'm sorry.
maybe that's also like a form of freaking cult. I really don't know.
No, I
I don't
think it
know.
is because like okay, está bien. I understand the whole respect people. I do. I really do respect people and their
Mhm.
choices. But that is something that's like you people, like you people sound so bad, but like a certain group of people, like they get together and they all have the same mindset, right? So they
Yeah.
like obviously like you're all gonna think alike and you're gonna think it's okay. It's not okay. Go seek help.
Yeah.
It's not okay for you to want to be another species. Like, what is about your life that's so freaking
Hmm.
bad? Aside from everything else that everybody else is going through, that you
Hmm.
have to become a dog. I've never once heard my Rusty be like, I want to be a human.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
oh my gosh.
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's lo mismo of the cultivative mind, like the
Hmm.
collective mind of like think the same. And
And I get
that's
it.
why it's
Like,
so
it's your, like, the furries, like, okay, it's your own community. Ahora los terians,
important.
it's your own community. Okay, kudos to you. But now, like, you're trying to make it okay, everybody else to be okay with that. Like, it just doesn't sit with me well. Like,
No,
it just really doesn't.
like, see, that is not normal. Like, it's not about being like LGBTQ. Like
No,
that's so
that has
different because at
nothing to
least
do
they're
with
still
anything.
people, they're still
No,
people
yeah, and it's just
doing this. It's
like
just
not to try to like, obviously cross one thing with another, like nada que ver,
no, nothing to do.
pero it's like, dude, like literally, like I'm sorry, but okay, I don't know.
Pinches
I was
terias.
like I don't
Ya,
know.
ya me enojé.
Ya me enojé, literally, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe like that's also like, I don't know. We don't know what goes through their heads, and
Mhm.
sincerely, I don't want to know. But
Yeah, like
I'm
obviously I
just
wouldn't
like,
say
what
once
the
if I
heck?
saw one in public, but I'd be like,
Yeah,
I know.
no, 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 ya,
Imagínate
basta de
estar
estupidez.
comiendo y entra uno y tú, ay, sáquenlo, no quiero comer cuando hay perros aquí.
Ya. Oye, no, 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 no. Y eso es lo que le pasó a la señora, a la menta esta. am,
Ajá.
oh, no, pues, ¿sabe qué? Pues yo no, I think it's Uber or something. Este programa es para humanos, no para animales. Y yo no puedo tener mascotas en mi carro, así que bájese. Y dice, ¿cómo? ¿Pero qué? ¿Quién sabe qué? No, bájese. And I'm like, yeah.
Uy. Ay,
I would
no.
do the same thing, girl.
Be like, no, like, especially like, si vienes and you're just like sitting there, okay, you're not bothering. But if you're over here, like, I can't even do it.
I can't.
Mi teléfono, hold on.
Aguas. Ya se enojó.
Yo también soy teriana, ando de perra.
Ay, no, cállate. Cállate.
I know, it's just so bad, but yeah,
No,
it
if
goes
I'm
back to
sorry,
like,
but if you were ever to tell me, ¿sabes qué, Viri? Me identifico como un Terian. I will cut the I
girl,
will
kick me in the
cut it
culo,
loose,
kick me in
girl.
the ass and tell
I will literally fly over there, drag you by the hairs, make you eat shit outside, and then tell me if you're a freaking dog.
me, ya no me
I
gusta.
know.
I
Ya no
know.
me gusta. No, dude, es que no,
I
no.
know, es que
That
no, eso
just
no.
it doesn't cross in my mind. How? You know what I mean?
Hay cosas, mi gente, hay cosas, mi gente, que hay que aceptar y, es normal y
Dijera la
todo,
J-Lo, mi
pero
gente latino,
mi gente latino, pero
mi
eso
gente
de andar,
latino, no que hacer eso.
no, 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 no,
I
no,
just that kills me.
I just can't. That's white people culture, don't do that.
That's why people should know.
Their
Cállate,
costume is
cállate.
not here. No, cut that off, cut that. Pero, no, dude, was like, I feel like I don't, eso de andar de cults is actually really scary.
It's scary. It's really
Going
scary.
back to that,
And
it's actually really scary.
yeah, and I feel like, if you don't know how to leave, just know that you're not gonna be alone. Like if you don't want to leave somewhere because it's like leaving a relationship, a toxic relationship. You don't want to leave that relationship because now maybe you're so alone and you're scared of like, you're not gonna be able to, salir adelante and you can't do it by yourself. You will. You honestly will. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah,
It's gonna be, but you're gonna meet other people. And as long as you're willing to meet other people and like salirte de esa, entonces honestly it's possible.
yeah.
Like
And
sometimes nos
that's why I'm
aguantamos
like,
teniendo relaciones malas o amistades malas que no nos conviene, pero ahí queremos estar porque we don't want to be alone. Sometimes,
es
honestly, being
costumbre.
alone is nothing wrong. Yeah.
No,
Como lo
there's
hemos
nothing
dicho
wrong with
antes,
being
yeah, yo prefiero tener one solid friend and, like, my good friendship within mis cinco dedos que
there.
tener un chingo y en realidad I can't rely on anybody. You know what I mean? So
That's so true. No,
just know
that's
you're not
why,
alone.
yeah, you're not alone. And like, como te digo, like, it's so important, in my opinion, it's so important to like meet people from different backgrounds, because you get exposure to, like, oh shit, like, I don't want to be like that, or oh, I want to be more like this person. So
Mhm.
you kind of get that, like, you get different perspectives versus just having a collective, like, blinder of
Yeah.
this is what it is. It's not.
Like,
The world is
exactly.
huge.
And honestly, I'm a strong believer that you become who you surround yourself with, you know?
Mhm.
And te digo, I keep on saying like, oh, you literally like now you're able to kind of move out easily from like those toxic things, or like if you don't like something, you could excuse yourself from it. It's like, hey,
Mhm.
you know what? I don't want to be part of this. Goodbye. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
no hard
And
feelings. And
yeah, and I feel like that's the thing. Like the problem is that we're just as people, we're just so sensitive. That's what it is. We're just that's the problem. So yeah, this was fun. I think it was a little fun to dive in a little bit about cults and stuff. Obviously, like there's so many more that we don't even know about or we don't even know what's going on. But we wanted to be respectful of it too because we haven't been part of any, thankfully. But those are just our thoughts and prayers on that. But I don't know, Stephanie, do you have any other input?
no, I think so I did want to say this. So we're gonna end it on a good kind of good note. So I started watching this show called The Breaking Amish. I don't know if you've seen it.
No. Oh,
No?
where do
Okay,
you
so
see it on?
I saw it on HBO. So it's on
Okay, I'll have
HBO
to
and
watch
I
it.
started the show like a couple weeks ago. I haven't followed up on it, but I'm like interested in like the Amish community. There's something wrong with me, but I love looking at shows about the Amish
Uh-huh.
communities. And because they just have such a simple life, you know your rules, and this is what it is, and this is what you're gonna do, and it's very simple.
Hmm.
And so I'm watching the show, and it's about like these group of like young adults. They're like 19 in their early 20s, and they're trying to break away from their community, which is their family, their church, everything. So when they
Hmm.
leave, they get shunned, meaning they can't go back. Like they're not welcomed back. Their family cannot speak to them. Even if somebody passes away, they can't go to the funeral. Like they're shunned.
Wow.
They're
Like they're
closed.
they're this is no longer your life, basically
This
your
is
own
no, you
family.
can't come
Okay.
back. Like they call the English people like the normal people, like us,
Hmm.
like the English people. So they're like, go live your life. And so these people are like, I have to go. Like I cannot be here. Like, and it's kind of cultish, and made me think of like family dynamics. So I don't know. That's just kind of what
Yeah.
I wanted to mention. Yeah.
That I'll have to watch that show because yeah, I like watching it where now like you kind of see it in a different lens. Like I can see why you're leaving. Good for you, but it's crazy that like wow, you're really like shot for life, But
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it. But anyways, I think this was a fun little video. But for our next topic, we do want to go ahead and actually go into family dynamics. So I think it's going to be perfect that you mentioned the Amish,
Yeah.
Amish people and stuff because
Amish
we just
people.
want to talk a little bit more about like not family dynamics itself, but family issues. That unfortunately, like sometimes if you had to go away or like step away from certain family members, it's like why? What caused you to do that? What pushed you to get there? And what made you finally, be able to do that? Because it's actually really hard. It's really
Mhm.
hard to just be like, you know what? I don't want anything to do with you and be able to just live your life, like you have to learn how to live a different life. So,
Yeah.
so I'm excited about that topic. We'll have some good stories for you guys, and I think that will be very fun.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm excited for that one too. I think it's family dynamics are crazy sometimes, and
Hmm.
leaving families, it's probably one of the hardest things some people
Hmm.
can do, you
But
know?
if it's for the best for yourself, 100%
Hmm.
always do it, you know?
Always choose yourself. But anyway,
But
so this was really fun. I'm glad you guys came. Please follow us.
follow,
Como
subscribe,
siempre,
like,
estamos en Instagram, en YouTube, and
and
Facebook,
TikTok
and
and
TikTok.
Facebook. So yeah,
Um,
we're gonna try to be a little bit more active. I feel like we've been doing good. So I'm
mhm.
excited. I'm excited what this brings us. And, you know, thank
Enjoy
you.
the chisme. We're just here
Yeah.
comadreando and
We're just here
chismoseando.
chismorreando what we're good at, you
Nothing
know?
serious, guys.
Nothing serious. Just thoughts and prayers here, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
but
have a
thank you.
nice day. Enjoy your night. Have a nice morning, whatever it is. But till the next one, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Adios. Bye.